With Christmas being a couple days away, let's talk about Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is doing well out there. We're only a couple days away from the big day, and I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This should be my last review for the year, but Wonder Woman 1984 is dropping on HBO Max Christmas Day. If I happen to see that over the holidays, I will do a review on that and have that out between now and New Year's. If not, it'll come out after New Year's Day. But today we're talking about Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. The other day we did Home Alone. You can find that, just scroll on down a little bit. You'll see that review. This movie came out 2 years after the original. This one came out November 20th of 1992. It's rated PG. It's 2 hours long. Had a budget of $28 million, so they got definitely a bigger budget for this film. And upon release, it made 173 in America and 358 worldwide. So this film was also a huge hit, although not quite as big as the first one, but still a big blockbuster in its own right. Now, John Hughes came back to write this sequel. Chris Columbus came back to direct this sequel, and our cast pretty much stays the same, but we have a few additions. We have Macaulay Culkin back as Kevin. We got Joe Pesci back as Harry. We got Daniel Stern back as Marv. We got Catherine O'Hara back as the mom Kate. And we got John Hurt back as the father Peter. And our new additions are the great Tim Curry as the Plaza Hotel's manager, although I don't think they ever say if he's the manager or not, but we'll assume he's the manager. I always thought he was, but so we'll just go with that. And Rob Schneider makes an appearance as a concierge as well. And Macaulay Culkin was paid $4.5 million to come back and star in this film, which was unheard of at the time for a child actor. So he made a lot of money for this one. So this one basically is a remake of the first one. Even Chris Columbus admitted this. Basically, he redid the first film just on a bigger budget, on a bigger scale. This movie takes place 1 year after what happened to the McAllisters the first time around. And this time they're going to Miami for Christmas. And the whole family's going. Uncle Frank's back and his family. And they're at the house. And pretty much the exact same thing happens as the first one. Kevin gets in an argument with his parents the night before their trip. And he gets scolded, and the next day though, this time Kevin makes the bus to the airport with the family, but at the airport's where things go awry. Kevin gets distracted trying to get batteries out of his father's bag, and they're running through the airport because they're late once again, 2 years in a row. These people got to get a battery backup for their alarm clock, and Kevin ends up going to the wrong plane. His plane's going to New York, while his family's on the plane to Miami, and his family doesn't notice till they get to the baggage claim in Miami. Now, again, I'm not going to go through the whole plot. You've seen this movie. I'm sure a lot of you have. This is another Christmas staple for a lot of people. It is in my house. It was when I was growing up. Again, my parents took me to see the sequel in the theaters, and I always enjoyed this sequel. And my son loves this sequel. Actually, my son might like this one better than the first one, although I don't agree with that. I do like this sequel, but I think the first one's better. Kevin ends up in New York. Parents in Miami. Parents are trying to figure out where the hell Kevin is. Kevin's in New York he thinks it's great at first, just like the first one, and he checks into the Plaza Hotel where we meet Tim Curry. There's a cameo by Donald Trump, as well as when he's trying to find the desk. And he gets set up in this nice suite, and Tim Curry's suspicious right away of the cover story this kid gives at the desk, but Kevin goes off to this toy store called Duncan's Toy Chest, which is a pretty cool damn toy store. He meets the owner. He didn't know that when he was talking to him. But not only is Kevin in New York City, but so is Harry and Marv. They just broke out of prison and they're in New York City, and they're trying to do a big score so they can get out of the country. And they set their eyes on Duncan's toy chest. Now Kevin knows Harry and Marv are there because they have a couple interactions together, and Kevin escapes them. Now, when Kevin finds out they're trying to break into Duncan's toy chest on Christmas Eve, Kevin can't allow that to happen, so he uses his uncle's house, which is getting totally remodeled, to set up traps like the first film. He lures Marv and Harry back to the house, and he basically pummels their asses into the ground. And then at the end, they get arrested by the cops. Kevin's family shows up. They get a suite, the penthouse in the plaza, and Duncan's Toy Chest owner is very thankful for Kevin for stopping the robbers from Harry and Marv from stealing all the money, because he gives it to the children's hospital. So he sends all these gifts over to the McAllisters, and they have a great Christmas. And at the end, Kevin's dad sees the bill, and we hear that last scream about, Kevin, how'd you spend $976 on room service? It's a very funny film. It's well shot by Chris Columbus. The characters are very likable, the ones that are back. Tim Curry is great as kind of like the sleazy manager of the hotel who's willing to do anything to find out if this kid's lying or not. And Tim Curry's always a pleasure to be on screen. Rob Schneider's kind of funny in his little role. And Macaulay Culkin's the one that we're here for at this point in the sequel. That's why they paid him the big bucks, and he does well with this role. He's actually even a little bit better in this film than he was in the first one, although he's had some more acting experience since the first one. So yeah, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York is a fantastic Christmas film. It's very fun. It's funny. I still laugh to this day at all the right spots, but I don't think it's quite as good. It doesn't quite have the same heart. They try to pull the same feels at the end of the film like they did in the first one. I just don't think it hits the same way, but I still enjoy the hell out of this film, and I watch it every Christmas. I would give it Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, an 8.5 out of 10. I gave the first one a 9.5 out of 10. So yes, I still like this film a lot. I still have fond memories of seeing this in the theaters with my parents when I was growing up, but it's just not quite as good as the original, but it's still a damn good Christmas film in its own right. It's well shot, it's well written, the characters are fun, and it's funny, and I like this film a lot. So I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it's still a damn good film. What are your thoughts on the sequel? Leave a comment down below, let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share this video, I greatly appreciate it. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas again, and I will see you in the new year. Thanks, bye.